Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and today we're talking about a major new feature coming in Godot 4.7. We've just finished with, I believe, all of the dev releases. I've been covering them as they've gone. Dev 1 and 2 I did in a video, 3 and 4 I did in a video, and 5, well, I didn't cover. I'm going to wait for the beta, which should be coming out any day now. But there is one common feature across all of these releases. You're going to notice here, Dev 1, we scroll on down to the very bottom of the new things in this release, and you're going to notice they added support for HDR output on Windows devices. If we go back over to Dev 2 and scroll on down to the bottom, what we are going to see is that they added support for HDR on Apple devices. And then we head on over to Dev 3. Guess who got the treatment? Yep, scroll on down and you will find that the Nixes are now in the mix. Pun totally not intended. So you'll see here, added Linux and BSD support HDR output. So all the major platforms now have HDR output, except Android, which is still a work in progress, but there are some definite limitations here. Like what you see right here, you need to be using the Wayland display server in this case. So one of the requirements, no X11 here, you need to use Wayland. We also had the release of Dev 4. Dev 4 had nothing to do with HDR though, so it's not entirely relevant to this video. And then also we had the release of Dev 5, which I did not do a dedicated video on, and there's some cool stuff coming in it, but like I said, I'm just gonna wait for the beta at this point. They did rework to the export templates, and probably the coolest new thing is this, the rectangular area lights being added. Mwah, that's beautiful. Not what we're talking about here today, though, because what we're focusing on is that HDR output being added across the board. Now, I got to be honest right now, I don't really like HDR. I have brand new TVs, I enable HDR, and I don't like the results. On Windows PCs, HDR is even worse, but that's my opinion. Some people absolutely swear by it. HDR enables you to have an expanded color space, so you can do blacker blacks, better color range, and so on. The only downside is it kind of depends on this long chain of dependencies. So for example here, on Windows, you gotta make sure, obviously, that your monitors support HDR. You also gotta make sure that your software enables HDR, and so on. So what you're going to want to do is come in, if you're on Windows, make sure that your monitor supports it and that you have HDR turned on. Once you've done that, let's head on over to the Godot game engine. So here we are. This is a demo I'm going to use today. Let me just pop that full screen. And by the way, this demo level I'm using has literally nothing else to do with it. It's just some pretty eye candy, but it is available in a new Godot environment bundle. Links down below. There's also a new Unreal and Unity bundle as well. So if you want to pick up some 3D environments for the Godot game engine native to Godot, this bundle is available. Check the links out down below. Clicking on them does help support Gamefromscratch, by the way. But what you want to do here is come on in and go to your project settings. So you got to make sure that you've already enabled HDR on your actual native machine. Next up, you need to go to Display, or here, Window, and turn HDR on. So you come down here, you're going to find HDR category, request HDR output. The thing is, you won't be able to turn this on unless you've set things up specifically. So for one, again, if you're on Linux, you're going to want to make sure that you are set to Wayland. Also, when it comes down to it, you have some rendering requirements. So your renderer needs to be set. First off, you need to be using Forward Plus or Mobile as your renderer. The other thing is you need to set your driver. So in this case, if it's set to Vulkan on Windows, it won't work. For Windows specifically, if you want HDR support, you need to choose DirectX 3D12. Whereas if you're working on Linux BXD, it has to be Vulkan. Now, the interesting one is if you're on Mac OS, it also needs to be Vulkan. Metal will not work. So there are a couple of requirements there. And then I think that's mostly it. The biggest one, again, on Windows, make sure you set it to DirectX 3D12. And then once you have done that, head on back over again to Display, Window, like so, and then go down to the HDR setting and just toggle it on right there. So it will not enable you to do that toggle unless you are set. You're also going to notice it automatically set HDR 2D as well. You could, I guess, go turn that back off, but I don't know why you would do that. So now that you've done that, you are in HDR mode. So when you go ahead and play your game, you're going to notice something different. So we're going to run our game right there, and now you're going to see it pops up the resolution, and then over here it shows that it is in HDR mode, and it's got the maximum linear value, reference luminance, maximum luminance. No, those values are all going to be different based off the quality of your monitor. Now, maybe part of what I don't like HDR on this device is this monitor is not the greatest ever for HDR, but there's how you'll know it is actually running. And then there's an option here that you can toggle it off. So if you want to go back to SDR, you can change that out there as well. And realistically, that is all you need to do to get HDR up and working. So that is pretty cool. Now, one thing to be aware of, there's actually another project out there. This one, a little bit less eye candy, but this actually showcases HDR functionality. So this is already running. Little demo that shows you various different display options, like here, so tone mapping and action, color sweeping, and setup instructions like so. And I can come back up here and then toggle it off completely, toggle it back on. I can change the brightness versus the max luminance, and so on. And we can see the end results of those changes. So you do have this test application, which you can actually showcase how HDR will look, because you're going to need to author your content for HDR to get maximum results out of it. But this is available, and it will showcase, of course, if your renderer works, if you're set up right. But again, do remember, you do need to come in here and set those values up properly. And some of them may be hidden behind advanced settings. But again, obviously the big one is that HDR setting. And you're going to want to turn it to request HDR output. If you cannot turn that one on, it's going to boil down to that you have one of the limitations. Either you're running, say, X11 on Linux, or you're not running Direct3D 12, or, of course, your device doesn't support it, or possibly you have not enabled HDR at the operating system level. Just one of those things to know about. Kind of, again, there's a lot of dependencies when it comes down to HDR, so it's just one of those things that you should definitely be aware of here. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. There's a bit more of the documentation, though. Let me just try and get that back up. Oh, here we go. So there is this new blog post they put out for kind of the journey to HDR 4.7, what it is all about. So what platforms it is available for. So right now it's Windows, Mac, iOS, Vision OS, and Linux, but Wayland only. X11 does not support it, and in the case of Windows, it is Direct3D 12 only. On top of that, it is for Forward Plus and mobile renders only, so the deferred renderer does not work. And then you can see the results of it available here. So this is mimicked. So the funny thing is, you're not going to see HDR here on this video specifically, just on the level that in order for me to get HDR to work on a YouTube video, I need to encode it using a very specific codec. HDR is kind of a pain in the butt to work with, to be honest. But again, instructions on enabling it here, details of it are available here. Now, the more interesting part is they actually have this document on HDR, all of the various different things. It also only works for specific tone mapping modes, being Filmic and ACES tone mapping. Another thing that you're going to want to be aware of there as well. And yeah, so we got details of all the various different sets, the fundamentals of how HDR works, designing your content for HDR. So really great documentation here. Also a little bit about actually implementing and dealing with code, how tone mapping works with it, how it compares to SDR, and so on. I highly recommend checking out this document. It will be linked in the linked article down below. Also, the demo project I work with, so this is actually available as a pull request. So it was created by Alan WP, who forked the Godot demo project. So you want to go ahead, download his repository, and then check for the HDR output branch. So this will ultimately add a new version. Let's see if I still have it. It's under MISC. So the miscellaneous section, you're going to notice here, just go into the repository, miscellaneous, and then you will find a project in there for HDR output. So that's the project we saw in action in the video. So if you want to go ahead and play around with it yourself, this will eventually be merged into the demo projects for Godot, and you won't have to download that specific branch. Also, once again, there is that new 3D asset bundle. That's what we saw in action here. That is the Godot Springtime bundle. If you want to go ahead and pick that one up, you get a ton of environments for the Godot game engine. Just make sure you use the code SP60 at checkout. Takes it down from 99 bucks down to like 39 bucks. There's also an Unreal Engine and a Unity bundle in there as well. All those links are down below, and it's a great way to support Game from Scratch if you are interested in doing so. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We have HDR support in the Godot game engine. I'm going to finish this one off with, what do you think of HDR? Because to be honest, as soon as this video is over, I'm going to toggle this back off, and I'm going to enjoy my world here. I don't know what that actually did to my video recording while I did that. May not have been a good idea. So if you just saw a black screen, that's because it was me turning off HDR support. I'm not a fan personally, but I'm curious, what do you think? Let me know. Comments down below. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.